Okay, so mic should be working. What's going on with you guys? How are you guys doing today? Hope you guys are having an amazing day today. This is gonna be like my fourth, something like that video today. Ooh, I'm gonna watch this one next. I'm gonna watch that one.
Other people.
Sorry. But today we have freedom and thoughts. Marcus Aurelius, stop caring what people think. Let's see. And he's gonna start off this book by probably giving us a quote from Marcus Aurelius's book called Meditations. So let's get right into it.
In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius said, "Don't waste the rest of your time here, worrying about other people, unless it affects the common good. It will keep you from doing anything useful. You'll be too preoccupied with what so-and-so is doing, and why, and what they're saying, and what they're thinking, and what they're up to, and all the other things that throw you off, and keep you from focusing on your own mind." In my opinion, Marcus touches on the main issue that holds people back in life. Being attached to what other people think of them. So I'm going to explore this idea through a dialogue. In Shinjuku, when the clock strikes midnight, a small bar opens up for a few hours. Few people visit it, but the ones who go know what they're looking for. Tonight, Hamari takes a seat alone, and after a few drinks, she has the following conversation with the bartender. Bartender, if you're attached to what people think of you, you'll never do anything truly useful. Himari, what do you mean? If you're attached to what other people think of you, you'll never be yourself. And if life has taught me anything, it's that being yourself is the only truly useful thing someone can do. I don't get it. How is being myself useful? True usefulness comes from being what you are. Think about a tree. Its fruits and oxygen are a byproduct of it being itself. The same holds true for us. We do useful things by being ourselves. But aren't I always...
But if you're copying somebody who is also a self, aren't you technically copying somebody that is useful by being themselves? So if you're copying somebody that's useful, are you yourself going to become useful? Or does it not work like that? Is it because you're not original and you're not like there's like not a sense of like continuity or like sort of like not honesty, but like a sense of like, what do I call it? Like just realism. Like you're not real to yourself. So even if you're copying somebody that might be themselves, sure. But if you're copying somebody else, you're not useful because we're gonna deceive. We have this said usefulness is, it can be defined by simply somebody who is themselves, who is truly themselves, and that in itself is useful. Let's see why.
Who is myself? No, you're getting stuck in the language. Let's look at the tree again. Several things can stop the tree from being itself, such as a lack of sunlight, a lack of water, and lots of competition in the environment. There are obstacles stopping the tree from being, so being yourself is the same as overcoming your own obstacles. And one of the greatest obstacles to being yourself is being attached to what other people think of you. How does being attached to what other people think of me stop me from being myself? When you are being yourself, you have to be willing to violate people's expectations of you. You have to be willing to disappoint them. You have to be willing for them to react negatively. But someone who's attached to what other people think of them is not willing to take that risk. So they end up being who others want them to be rather than being themselves. I guess you're right, but what can I do? I depend on what people think of me to survive. So you're attached to what other people think of you because you're dependent on their opinion for security. But if your relationship depends on satisfying someone's expectations, it's not a real relationship. You are a prisoner to someone's idea of you. I guess that's true, but there's still security in a prison. Yes, but you're in a prison. You've traded the whole of your life.
That's true, but think about reciprocity though. Like reciprocity will have you think, okay, you do this thing for me, then you can expect me to do this thing back for you because, you know, it's like this is reciprocation here. I'm showing gratitude for what you did for me. I will now do this thing. So to kind of function in society, you have to realize he's not saying completely just go and do something like wild as fuck. Don't go around doing something crazy that would just you'd be going too far. But what he is saying is basically like in moderation, care a little less. I like maybe the title's a bit misleading, but I don't think you should completely stop caring what people think because it serves a purpose to care what people think. It serves a purpose. It's arguable whether you still need it nowadays, but biologically does have an effect on you to have strong relationships. So, I mean, you feel lonely for a reason. There's a reason you don't want to be lonely because of this survival thing where you needed to survive, and to survive, you wanted to not be alone because you're better off with more people. And to keep that relationship with more people going, you want to make sure that you're acting like everybody else. You're doing what everybody else is doing. You're making sure that you're not getting kicked out of this tribe. You're not doing anything out of the ordinary. Nothing that nobody doesn't expect of you. Nothing to disappoint others. That's shame. That's embarrassment. That's guilt. Whatever. Right. So I mean, to an extent, you kind of have to care a little bit, but don't do it too much. Right. That's really should be the main lesson. Because, I mean, she's not wrong. Like, back in the day, you did kind of need to depend on others to survive. That is true. Back in the day. Not too much now, but it still does biologically affect you to have strong relationships. We're still tied to have strong relationships. We still want to have that.
For security, what is there left to secure? I guess that's true. I never thought about it. But no matter what I do,
Yo, I shouldn't be
or
looking at my
where I
fingers.
go, I'll always depend on people's opinions for security. That's how the world is, isn't it? If you sell water in a desert, does it matter what people think of you? If you can truly produce something of value, their opinions do not matter. I guess you're right, but how do I make something of value? That's like asking how the tree makes its fruit. I'll put it like this. A tree is imprisoned by a lack of water, sunlight, and competition. When the tree breaks out of these prisons, when it becomes completely free, the fruit is the natural outcome. It's not about how you can produce something of value, but how you can become free. When you break free of all your prisons, your fruit comes of its own accord.
Naturally.
Marcus Aurelius said,
You don't have to worry about the how, worry about the why. As long as you know your why, as long as you're doing that, as long as you're being yourself and you have truly free, you will produce something of value. You don't have to know the how. It'll just happen. Naturally.
that caring what other people think would prevent you from doing anything useful, and I explored the meaning behind this idea through a dialogue. The most useful thing someone can do is be themselves, and what we truly are can never be put into words, whether we think we are good, bad, an artist, or a lawyer. What we are can never be boiled down to a single word. When we say I am a wife, or a mother, or a musician, or a lawyer, we're taking one tiny sliver of our memory and identifying ourselves with it. We're more than our memories. Being yourself is the same as overcoming your own problems, and truly overcoming your own problems is what allows you to help others overcome theirs, which is why true value lies in being oneself. But as long as we're attached to what other people think of us, we will always be what people want us to be rather than being ourselves. And if we abandon ourselves, we abandon our ability to be truly useful to the world. And if we abandon our ability to be truly useful to the world, we abandon what is perhaps the only form of true security. On the other hand, when we be what other people want us to be, we have the security of a prisoner, which is security in exchange for life. And that's really not any security at all. But at the end of the day, this is just my opinion
It's a good metaphor.
and understanding of Marcus's words, not advice. Feel free to use this information however you like. And if you have a different take on Marcus's words, I'd love to hear your perspective in the comments.
I mean, Jesus Christ. How's that, guys? Freedom and thought, Marcus Aurelius. Stop caring what people think. Let me know what you guys think. You should try a little less. You should try a little less. to worry about somebody. Like a lot of people are dead ass just so miserable because of that, man. They're just so miserable because they're worried so much. Excuse me, about what Sally Pants 27 says on the internet. They care. And they shouldn't. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Let me know what y'all want me to react to next, and I will catch you in the next one. Yes, sir.